a few months ago I made this video right here where I ran these two RTX 2060s through several benchmarks, uh, primarily the Blender demo files. Now I want to redo several of these because I have since upgraded from the ASRock B350 motherboard that I used in this benchmark to what I have now, which is an X470 MSI. And the reason why I went with the X470 is because it's out of the box compatible with the 1000 series, Ryzen 2000, and the 3000 series, which is good for me because I do plan on eventually upgrading to a 3000 series CPU. Alright, but currently the only thing different is the motherboard. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and do some of these tests. Now, I have the times from the previous tests still in here, so I'm going to rerun these tests and then compare the times. I'm going to add the times next to these, and these are in seconds. And I'm going to fast forward so you don't have to sit through, a couple hours of benchmarks. Alright, now I got the BMW open, and right now I'm going to put it on CUDA, and I'm only going to, well, let me go ahead and do it this way. Let me see which one I have listed first. I'm going to go ahead and do the 1060s also, because this motherboard I do have all of them plugged in. So I'm going to run just one 1060 and then render that to see what the time comes out to. And the time to beat is 147 seconds, or 2 minutes and 27 seconds. And here's the time up here. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Alright, it finished, and what was the time? 147 seconds, so it took actually a second longer with this motherboard. Now, I'm not 100% sure that's the case of the motherboard or just, 1 second differences, within the margin of error. You could probably render it twice and be within a second. But I'm going to document it anyway. 148, enter. Alright, now I'm going to try it with two 1060s. Let me go ahead and add the other 1060 to it, and then click render. And I'm going to fast forward now. Alright, it looks like it's just about finished, and come out to 1 minute 17 seconds, or 77 seconds. I might as well round up to 78 seconds. And what was the time? Within 1 second again, but actually just 1 second quicker. Alright, now I'm going to go with the one RTX 2060. Going to set that up, turn these off, and turn one RTX 2060 on, and click render. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward that now. Alright, that's almost done. 1 minute and 2 seconds. And how did we, pardon me, where am I at? Right here. 1 minute and 2 seconds. It took 63 seconds before, so 62. So not a big difference, but we're talking about the BMW scene, which is it's a fairly light scene. It's actually really light in my opinion. Alright, now let's go with two 2060s Encoder. Whoops, wrong one. Turn on the other 260, click render, and I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Alright, that's almost done. Give it a second. 35 seconds. Let me see what it was before. 35 seconds. Alright, so not any difference, and any difference that is showing up is within a margin of error. Alright, now let's go with yeah, the only ones we have left now is the optics, so let's go ahead and change this so that it's rendering using optics, and we'll just turn on one 2060. We'll render that, render image, and I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Alright, it's just about done. 32 seconds. Let me see what it was before. 33. I could have rounded up for all I know the last time, but it's around the same. I'm going to just put in 32. And let's go with two 2060s and optics. Let me go ahead and turn that on. Turn the second one on, click render, and fast forward. Well, actually, I'm not going to fast forward because this is only going to take like 18 seconds, so I'm not even going to bother fast forward. It's already pretty much done. 18.5 seconds, which is, let me maximize that, which is what it took before, 18 seconds. Alright, now just for fun, let me go ahead and run all of them in CUDA. Now, I'm not going to add the CPU because the CPU will actually make it slower. Alright, let me go ahead and do that. And of course, this is in CUDA because the 1060s will not render with optics. And I'm assuming this right here is going to be slower than one 2060 running optics, or right around the same amount. It's actually doing pretty quicker than I thought it was going to. Of course, the 1060s will probably lag behind because I guarantee you these two tiles are the 1060s. 31 seconds. Let me go ahead and add that right here. Alright, now let's move on to the Barcelona. File, open, don't save. Where you at, Barcelona? Alright, now let me open up preferences. Go ahead and just set it so that it's just one 1060. And I'm going to go ahead and click render. And as always, I'm going to fast forward because this is going to take a couple minutes. Alrighty, it looks like it's about done with that. Let's see here, it's going to be done in a second. Looks like it's took 812 seconds. Let me double check my math. Yeah, 812. Alright, let me go ahead and add that in here. 812. Yeah, 2 seconds quicker, but that's still, you know, kind of in the margin of error. Now let's run two 1060s. Alright, let me set that up. Add the second 1060. Render image. And I'm once again going to fast forward. Alright, it looks like it's about done. Got about 5 more seconds left. Almost there. Alright, 6 minutes 57 seconds. Let me do the math real quick on that. That's 57, 17, 717 seconds. Well, that ain't right. No, 417 seconds. I lose my mind. 417, and just to be sure, because I am a boob sometimes, let me use a calculator to do the math. Let's see, 6 times 60, which is 360, plus 57 equals 417. Alright, now I know I'm not a complete boob. Alright, now let's try it with a single 2060 running CUDA. Let me go ahead and set that up. Alright, let me go ahead and click render, and as always I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this. Alright, it's just about done. Couple more seconds. Alright, 7 minutes and 19 seconds, which is what, 439 seconds. And that was a little bit quicker as well. 439. Enter. Now do it with 2 running CUDA. Alright, let me go ahead and set that up. Turn on the second 1060. Pardon me, second 2060. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Alright, it looks like we got about 5 seconds left. Couple seconds. Alright, that's 217 seconds. Let me double check my math. No, that's 237 seconds. Alright, now let me go ahead and add that here. 237. So that's kind of a significant difference, going from 442 to 417, 248 to 237. But you know, I'm seeing a pattern. It's more efficient when running multiple GPUs, but it's not as pronounced when it's just one GPU running. So I'm not exactly sure how that translates to the motherboard being better. I mean, it obviously is. It's better at running multiple GPUs, but I'm not sure why. Alright, now let me run single RTX 2060 using optics. Let me go ahead and set that up. And click render. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this because it'll probably still take a couple minutes. Alright, it looks like we got about 8 seconds left and it'll be finished. A couple more seconds. Alright, 3 minutes and 16 seconds or 196 seconds. Go ahead and put that in here. 196, and that's within 1 second, within the margin of error. Now let me run 2 2060s using optics. Let me go ahead and set that up. Add the second one. Click render and fast forwarding. Alrighty, it looks like we got about 5 seconds left. 2, 1, and Uh, that's 105 seconds. Let me go ahead and put that in here, 105, and once again, that's where I'm seeing the difference whenever I'm using multiple cards. That because 10 seconds difference is quite significant for that short of a render. Alright, now let's go ahead and turn on everything and run it in CUDA. Alright, put on CUDA, turn on the 1060s, and we'll click render. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Alrighty, it looks like I got about 5 seconds left before it's finished. A couple more seconds. These two 1060s, I know it's the 1060s, they're dragging behind. They're literally slowing down the process. 1060s are good cards, but they're just fairly antiquated. Alright, 256 seconds, so that's what, 176, no, 2 minutes 56, 2 minutes and 56 seconds, so it's 176 seconds. Put that in here, 176, enter. Alright, now let's move on to the classroom scene. And I'm going to start with one rendering in CUDA. File, open, no, I don't want to save. Where are you at, classroom? Here you are. Alright, now let me go ahead and make sure I have it set up, and of course I don't. Let me turn off everything except for 1060, and then click render. And I'm definitely, well, let me start over here. Let me turn on GPU, and I'm definitely going to fast forward through this because this will take a while. Alrighty, it looks like it's just about done. Got about 5 seconds left, and it will be done. Let's see, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. That's 500 seconds, I believe. Let me do the math real quick so I don't look like a boob. 8 times 60 equals plus 20, 500 seconds. Alright. Ooh, actually took longer. That's interesting. But it actually did up here too, which is weird. Alright, now let's go with two 1060s and see what happens. Let me go ahead and set that up. Add the second 1060, render, image, and I'm fast forwarding now. Alright, it's almost done. Got about 5 seconds left. Any second now. Alright, that's 258 seconds. 258. Alright, now let's move on to the 2060s running CUDA. Let me go ahead and turn on the 12060 and click render, and fast forwarding now. Alrighty, it's almost done. Got about 4 seconds left, 4 seconds. Alright, 4 minutes and 41 seconds, or 281 seconds total. Let me go ahead and add that. 281. Now that was a fairly significant difference. I mean, you're talking 15 seconds difference. Alright, now let me go with two 2060s running CUDA. Let me set that up. Add the second 2060, render, image, and I'm fast forwarding. Alrighty, got about 5 seconds left, and it's just about there. 2 minutes and 31 seconds, or 131 seconds. We'll go ahead and add that in here. 131. Let me double check that math. Yeah, that's off. I'm going to get the calculator just so I don't look like a total goober. Alright, so that's 31 plus 120. 151. I thought that looked a little off. 151. I was going to say, because that would have been a huge difference. But still, that's 11 seconds difference. Alright, now let's try it with one 2060 using optics. Turn off one of them, render image. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Alright, got about 5 seconds left and it will be done. Alright, so that's 2 minutes and 43 seconds, or 163 seconds. We go ahead and add that. 163, 3 seconds quicker than before. Alright, now let me go ahead and do optics with both 2060s. Let me go ahead and set that up, add the second 2060, click render, and I'm fast forwarding. Alright, it's just about done, a couple more seconds, and we're talking 1 minute 28 seconds, or 88 seconds. We go ahead and add that, and once again it's quicker, but not significantly. It was actually probably the more significantly quicker in CUDA with the classroom scene for some reason, but with multiple cards. Well, it was actually with a 2060 running CUDA, it was probably the most significantly quicker. Alright, now let's go ahead and run all 4 of them in CUDA. Let me go ahead and turn them on and render and fast forwarding now. Alright, got about 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 2.5, or 1.5, 1. Alright, it looks like it's 1 minute 43 seconds, or roughly 103 seconds. 103, enter. Alright, now move on to the barbershop, which I didn't have much luck with before because I couldn't get it to work correctly with optics. Alright, so let me go ahead and we'll start with the GTX 1060 by itself. Let me open that up. Open, don't save. Yeah, where you at? Here you are. Barbershop. Now, I can tell you one thing. Whenever I get another more powerful CPU, this scene will render quicker because it's fairly CPU intensive, especially whenever it first starts to compile the scene or build the scene for the GPU before it's even transferred to the GPU. Alright, now let me go ahead and make sure we open up preferences and turn off everything except for 1060, and this is definitely going to take a while. Let me zoom out just a hair so you can see it, and I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Of course, it's going to take I don't even remember how long it took, but I remember it took a long time. Fast forwarding now. Alrighty, it looks like it's got about 5 seconds left. 23 minutes and 48 seconds. So that's what, 1380, 1,388 seconds, I believe. Let me do the math just to make sure. 23 times 60 plus 48 equals 1,428. Good thing I used a calculator. Ooh, longer. 1428. Enter. Alright, now let's do it with two 1060s. Whoops, wrong one. Let me go ahead and turn on the other 1060. Click render, and I'm fast forwarding. Alright, looks like I've got about 4 seconds left. Uh, 12 minutes and 21 seconds, or 741 seconds. So let me go ahead and put that in here. Let's say 741. Enter, and now we'll do the 2060, a single card, using CUDA. Turn these off, turn this on, and render, and I'm fast forwarding now. Alright, it looks like it's about done. Couple seconds. And 9 minutes and 6 seconds, so that's what, 546 seconds. Yeah, that's right, 546. Put that in here, 546, enter, and what's left is, before we move on to optics, I'm going to go ahead and render with all of them in CUDA. That's a little bit separate or different order than I was doing before, but I want to go ahead and get that out of the way. Alright, go ahead and turn on the 1060s and then click render, and I'm fast forwarding now. Alright, got a few seconds left on this. Couple more seconds and it'd be finished. Alright, so that's 6 minutes and 3 seconds, so that's 363 seconds. Alright, now let's do the optics. Now before, I could not get optics to render correctly, and I'm not sure why. But let's go ahead and try this now. Of course, I already know it works because I've tried the barbershop scene with optics, and I know it works with this motherboard, but for some reason it didn't work with my previous motherboard. I do not understand why. Nothing else about the system has changed, not even the software. Alright, let's go ahead and change this to optics and just use one GPU, one of the 2060s. Click render, and then I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Alright, after trying for several minutes to get the barbershop scene to render correctly using optics, I was unsuccessful, and I kept getting mixed results and so forth. And after a little while, I started to understand what was going on. Now granted, I still don't understand why I'm having such an issue with the barbershop scene, but I did do some research, and other people are having the same issue. So let me go ahead and show you what the issue is. Now that I know how to recreate it and cause two different types of issues when it comes to this barbershop scene. Alright, now let me go ahead and go to preferences. And if I render in CUDA, whether or not, pardon me, whether or not I'm using the 2060s or the 1060s, they render fine. But you know, CUDA's slow. But if I go to optics, if I render with 1, this is what happens. And this is, the render will look fine, but it will take twice as long as it takes with CUDA. Because how long did it take before? Let me bring up that chart. Yeah, this is it. Where you at? It took 997 seconds to render it in CUDA using 12060. And if you look right here, it's showing it's got 27 minutes, 28 minutes left. And that's fairly accurate. It's going to take at least 30 minutes to render in optics. Now, as far as why it's taking so long, I have no idea. Because on everything else, optics is quicker, generally significantly quicker than CUDA. Alright, now let me show you the other issue it's having. Now, like I said, if I let this go, it will render perfectly. It will look just fine. But it just takes a lot longer than CUDA. So it would be better to render in CUDA. Obviously, something about this scene is not working correctly with optics. I have no idea what it is. That's beyond my pay grade. Let me go ahead and stop this. It would help if I clicked on the window. Alright, now let me bring up preferences again. Now let me turn on both of them and watch what happens when I turn on both. And I made this mistake initially, and I thought that it was working correctly with this new motherboard, and in fact it's not. Now you'll see what it is. You'll probably see it as long as YouTube doesn't butcher the video quality to a crazy degree. You should be able to see what the issue is. Definitely need to upgrade that CPU so I can do all this stuff quicker. Alright, now see how quick it actually looks? But it's deceptive. And the reason why it's deceptive is, let me zoom in and you look at all that noise. For some reason, whenever you try to render in optics with multiple CPUs, it's only rendering at like, I'm guessing maybe 50 samples. But yeah, if I come over here and look at the sampling, it's still set to 800. Now, I don't know why it's doing that, but it is nonetheless. So, if anyone has a solution to this, or even an explanation to why, and it's specifically with the barbershop scene, it's taken way longer, at least twice as long to render in optics than in CUDA with a single GPU, but with 2 GPUs it's rendering super quick but super bad quality. Because that's kind of blowing my mind. I don't understand what's going on here. But anyway, I think that's going to close out this video. Later, people.